Good evening. Here's the Fortune's Global News coming to you on Fortune's Television. I am Hauwa'u Aminu Lere with the news. But first, the headlines. Kaduna local government to make health insurance mandatory for intending couples. Nigeria spends half its revenue on debt. On the foreign scene, Iran already replaces air defense systems damaged during Israel war. Super Falcons set to end Banyana's WAFCON ambition. Now the news in full. The chairman of Kuda local government area of Kaduna State, Dauda Abba, has proposed couples to present the Kaduna State Contributory Health Management Authority enrollment card before getting married. Ensuring this, he said, will increase enrollment into the scheme. Abba made the proposal in Kuda local government area secretariat at the Kachma's inauguration of the information sector enrollment campaign into the scheme. The chairman said the proposal aims to ensure that couples have access to quality healthcare services. The chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed that the country currently spends less than 50% of its revenue on debt servicing. While serving as the keynote speaker at PwC's Executive Summit on Nigeria's tax reform with the theme, The New Tax Era, What Nigeria's Tax Reform Means to Individuals and Businesses, in Lagos on Monday. While serving as the keynote speaker at PwC's Executive Summit in Nigeria's tax reform with the theme, The New Tax Era, What Nigeria's Tax Reform Means to Individuals and Businesses, in Lagos on Monday. Oyedele explained that the government was spending almost 97% of its revenue on debt servicing before the economic reforms. He explained that the country's currency could have become worthless if the federal government had not embarked on the currency current economic reforms. He noted that the country was heading in the direction of Zimbabwe and Venezuela, whose economies had collapsed. Retired police officers under the contributory pension scheme on Monday marched from the National Assembly and shut the main gate of the first headquarters in Abuja for hours, demanding that the police be removed from the scheme, which they say has trapped them in poverty. The elderly ex-officers refused repeated pleas to disperse until they secure a meeting with the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Ebetokun. Facing the protesters, Ebetokun expressed sympathy and insisted he was not opposed to the police exiting the CPS if that will solve the problem, but stressed the decision lay beyond anyone Inspector General. Barring any last-minute change, the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) will meet in Abuja on Thursday to deliberate on key issues threatening cohesion within the party. Credible sources at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja disclosed that top on the agenda is the matter of the party's leadership, particularly the emergence of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje's substantive successor. According to reports that Ganduje resigned as national chairman on June 27th, paving the way for the deputy national chairman, North, Alibukar Dalori, to assume office in an acting capacity. Multiple sources confirmed that the NEC meeting is essentially being convened to decide Dalori's future and that of other members of the National Working Committee. Suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan appears poised to resume plenary today, despite warnings from the Senate that her suspension remained in force and binding. The lawmaker representing Kogi Central, who was suspended in March, revealed over the weekend that she had formally notified the Senate of her intentions to return, citing a recent court decision as her basis. Akpoti-Uduaghan insisted that while her suspension did not stop her from executing constituency projects, it had obstructed her ability to carry out vital legislative functions like sponsoring bills and moving motions. Backing her stance, her lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, West Idahosa, maintained that the court judgment justified her returns. More states have announced plans to reduce electricity tariffs in their jurisdictions after the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission issued a new tariff order to Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited, revising the electricity cost for Band A customers from 209 naira per kilowatt to 160 naira per kilowatt, effective August 1, 2025. This was, however, vehemently opposed by power generation and distribution companies, who claimed that the move may cripple the sector, as the Gencos declared that the industry is indebted to power producers to the tune of over 5 trillion naira. As the Gencos and Discos attacked Enugu State over its move on Monday, the state insisted on its decision, stressing that it followed all required processes to arrive at the new 160 naira per kilowatt power tariff for Band A customers. The power firm kicked against the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission's planned cut for Band A electricity tariffs, warning that the decision relies on questionable subsidy assumptions and poses serious risks to the country's fragile power sector. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has accused the federal government and state governors of systematically crushing dissent, weakening democratic institutions, and unlawfully seizing workers' contribution, which it described as stealing workers' sweat. NLC President Joe Ajaero made the remark at the opening ceremony of the 21st Training School of the NLC, held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, stating that Nigeria was on the brink of tyranny. Ajaero described Nigeria as a democratic space, the very arena where citizens, especially the working class, face an assault on their rights to free speech, assembly, and participation in governance. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to implementing the National Single Window Initiative, an integrated trade facilitation platform aimed at plugging revenue leakages, enhancing transparency, and improving the efficiency of international trade processes. Speaking during an appearance before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Custom and Tariffs, chaired by Senator Issa Jibrin, APC Kogi East, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, emphasized the importance of customs revenue to the national economy. Customs revenue is significant and remains a major contributor to the Federation account for the benefit of both the federal and state governments. The minister explained that the Tinubu administration remains focused on correcting structural distortion in the economy, particularly following the removal of fuel subsidies and the shift to a market-driven foreign exchange system. On the foreign scene, Iran has replaced the air defense system damaged during its 12-day war with Israel last month, a senior army general said to state media. Israel launched an unprecedented surprise bombing campaign against Iran in mid-June, prompting Tehran to respond with drone and missile attacks. Israel's strike dealt a blow to Iran's air defenses, which were repeatedly activated in the capital Tehran and across the country throughout the war. According to Mahmoud Mousavi, the Zionist enemy sought to destroy Iran's defense capabilities, and some other defense systems were damaged in that war. On sports, 9-time African champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, says they are determined to abort the title-retaining dreams of cup holders South Africa when both sides clash in the second semi-final of the 13th Women AFCON Finals in Casablanca on Tuesday. In the competition's 27-year history, the Super Falcons have never failed to make the semi-finals, and boastful Zambia turned out to be too weak to shred that record when both teams met in the quarterfinals on Friday, an encounter from which the Super Falcons ran out 5-0 winners. South Africa's Banyana have been traditionally a miserable opposition to the Nigerian girls for decades. It took the girls from the Rainbow Nation 17 years after a first meeting in March 1995 to secure a win over the Falcons, a 1-0 win in a women AFCON match in Equatorial Guinea 13 years ago. To end the news, a recap of the major headlines. Kaduna local government to make health insurance mandatory for intending couples. Nigeria spends half its revenue on debt. On the foreign scene, Iran already replaces air defense systems damaged during Israel war. Super Falcons set to end Banyana's WAFCON ambition. And that ends the news. On behalf of the news editor, Balara Balawal Zaria, I am Hauwa'u Lere, thanking you for investing your time.